Lesson 5-3, Inequalities, continued. Okay, in the first video for this lesson, we learned that an inequality is basically a mathematical sentence that compares two unequal quantities, right? So for example, when considering the inequality x is less than 3, this means that x can be any number smaller than or less than 3. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to graph inequalities on a number line. Okay, let's consider the inequality x is greater than 5. Right, so basically what this means is that x can be any number larger than 5, okay? 6, 7, 8, 20, 30, right? Any number that comes to the right of 5 on the number line would satisfy this inequality. Alright, so how do we graph this inequality? Well, on the number line, we would put an open circle at 5, and in a second I will tell you what this open circle represents. And because we're interested in the values that are larger than 5 or greater than 5, we are going to draw an arrow that extends to the right. This open circle tells us that 5 is not part of our solution, meaning x cannot equal 5. X can only be the numbers that are larger than 5 or greater than 5. Okay? Now, let's consider a similar inequality. X is greater than or equal to 5. Alright, so if I were to graph this inequality, once again, we would put a circle above 5, but in this case, we are going to use a closed circle. The closed circle tells us that 5 is included in part of the solution, right? Because in this case, x is greater than or equal to 5, which means x can be 5 or bigger, right? And then once again, we will shade, or we will extend our arrow to the right. Right, so in the first example, x is greater than 5, we use an open circle because 5 is not part of the solution. However, in the second example, 5 is part of the solution, right? Because x can be 5 or greater. So we use a shaded in circle. Let's try a couple more. Let's consider the inequality x is less than 6. So on our number line, x less than 6 means that x can be any number smaller than 6 or to the left of 6 on the number line. We will use an open circle at 6 because 6 cannot be part of the solution. Right? We want the numbers less than 6, which means we will extend our arrow to the left. This shows us that all the numbers to the left of 6 on the number line will satisfy this inequality. Let's try one more. X less than or equal to -3. Okay, for this problem we will use a closed circle at -3 because it's less than or equal to, right? In this case, -3 can be part of the solution, right? Because this is telling me that x can be -3 or smaller. So we're interested in -3 and the numbers that are smaller than -3, to the left of -3 on the number line. Okay, and that's all there is to graphing inequalities.